Hey, hello world. How's it going out there? Welcome back to the stream. It's been a little while since we last streamed, but last session we had a really productive stream. We got our GUI code refactored a bit, or built out, I should say. And let's just recap kind of what we did. We altered our render screen. This is where we used to render all of our game map code. And what we did is we abstracted that out a little bit. Now we're wrapping... Let's open this stuff up. We defined a UI screen and a UI view. So right now a screen contains a link to our console. And it also contains a list of views that are on that screen. And what is a view? A view is basically, right now, it's a separately renderable unit. So right now it's got one kind of data point to its struct is it's got a pointer to a render function. So what we do for render screen is we clear the current console, we clear the screen, we grab a pointer to the head of the list of views for our current screen that we're about to show, and we then loop through those views and call their render functions in order. And then once all of those have kind of rendered into the console's pixel buffer, we put that on a texture and render that to the actual physical screen. So we moved all of our kind of in-game rendering code into different functions that we store pointers to in the various views. So we've got a game map rendering function. This is all the code that used to be up here in render screen. And then we added one last stream. We added a message log to our in-game screen because it's something that's important for a roguelike. So let's just show you where we're at right now. This is the current state of things. Wow, we spawned in a room with a bunch of stuff. A couple of goblins, and a kobold. So attacking, you'll see that we're now rendering up to 5 rows of status messaging. And it'll change. Let's see if we're gonna get this guy. Alright, so we killed the goblin, but the kobold immediately stepped in, and these guys are gonna corner us and we're gonna be trapped. I don't know that we're gonna get out of this. Oh, we killed another goblin. Come on, if we can get this goblin. No, they got us. Okay, so we've died. Let's start up another game just so we can walk around the map a little bit. If you recall, at the end of last stream, we had gotten the logging function working, but once we got to a certain point, the app would crash. It would crash, and throwing it in the debugger didn't necessarily. It was giving us different crash points because the reason it was crashing is the heap was corrupted. And so the problem with heap corruption is that it rarely happens, the crash rarely happens where the bug is. It's like the nastiest type of bug to debug. So off stream I did a little bit of investigation and just kind of commented out different things, trying to figure out where the issue was. And so there were several memory issues that I ended up cleaning up, places where I would allocate something on the stack and then expect it to live longer than it actually was. But the number one offender was in our add message. If you remember this from last time, the problem was when I was doing this, I was going quickly, and right here in our malloc, when we're allocating memory on the heap to store our message string, I was allocating string length bytes. Instead of now you see string len +1. The problem with that is string len only reports the length of the string, and it does not count the terminating null character that is part of your standard C string. So what we were doing is we were allocating enough space for just the characters of the message and no null terminators. So these strings were like open-ended, and basically anything where we were trying to print a string to the screen that depended on having that null terminator there to indicate the end of the string, we were reading off into different memory and crashing at different points. So always remember, string len does not include the number reported back does not include the null terminator. So if you're going to allocate memory based on it, always do the +1 so that have that space for the null terminator string. So removing or adding that extra 1 to the size of the allocation cleared up the memory error, and now we're back up in running order. So tonight, I've got a list of stuff to do. I'll pull up my list. So the first thing I'd like to do is add some player stats to the screen. And let me bring up the game again. So basically, we've got. So we have the map is this entire top portion of the screen. The message log is right now at just this kind of corner, bottom right corner of the screen. And so we've got a lot of space to the left of it, which is where we're going to put, that's where we're going to fit in our stats box. So I think stats that we're going to add will be current HP and maybe an HP bar indicator. Let's see what else. Maybe player attack strength, maybe player defense strength. I'm not sure exactly how much of the internal stats I want to surface to the player. That's something that we're going to have to kind of, put something out there and then see how we feel about it, see if we think it's too much information, not enough information, just kind of play with it. And I think I'm going to end up moving the log, giving it a little bit more space too. And maybe even make it a little taller. I don't know. We'll tweak all that stuff. But right now, I'd like to get at least a rudimentary stats box up. So right now, we're just kind of declaring all of our UI views right here in our main. This is not where they're going to live. I've got its due here to move this somewhere else, but at least while we're kind of constructing the screen and seeing how we like it, I want to keep it all right here front and center. So we're going to add, do UI view, call this stats view. Allocate some memory for that, and then stats view, we're going to give it a render function. This will be stats render, which we haven't written yet, but we can kind of proceed assuming that that function's there. And then we'll do, we add it to our in-game view list. stats. Alright, so the next step is to write that render function. Right now, we've got all of our render functions right here. Again, not their final resting place, but for now it works. Oh my goodness. I'm not used to this keyboard. It's not my regular daily keyboard, so. Alright, so our render function, we've defined it to, if we get here, we've type-defed our render function to be, it returns nothing, so it's void, and then it takes one parameter, it takes a pointer to a console, PT console. So let's see, let's define our starting row and column. Our starting row, we're going to start at the same row as our message log, so that'll be 44. And then column is going to be, we can start it like very far over to the left, so we'll start it at column 1. We'll give a 1 column buffer to our left. Now, we have in our UI library, we have a drawRect function that will draw a rectangle with an optional border. So maybe let's give that a go. So it takes a UI state because it's expecting. It doesn't use it though. So I'll send in a null. All right, so let's try this. Instead of doing row and col, let's do and so a rectangle takes, hey Mr. Maru, how's it going? Sounds like you're using only the standard library. That is true for the most part. We're also using the SDL2 libraries for the cross-platform video output and also input handling. But in terms of libraries for gaming or that sort of thing, we're building the engine from scratch. There is one other library that we include in order to process, read in and parse PNG files. We're using an open source library called STB image. And if you look at the repo on GitHub, you can see all of the stuff that we're using. GitHub repo link should be right above my head. All right, so the rectangle, it takes an X, Y, and then a width and a height. Oh, it's defined in the console. So here's that library I'm including, stb_image. it's a single file. It's a single file library. It's just source, which is it's really nice though. All right, so x, y, width, and height. Let's do x, y. So we'll do 144, and then width and height. Our width, we start our log at 30, but I don't think we need nearly that much space for the stats view. So I'm going to go with maybe 16 wide, and we will be 5 tall. And then we'll use this rect. Just gonna copy this so that we can get the call parameters right. So we'll call UI draw rect. I'm gonna pass null for that parameter. We're not using that parameter quite yet. That's for capturing the state of the UI, which we'll get into shortly, but not right now. And then our rect, and it takes a pointer, so we're going to send the reference to our rectangle. And then we need a border. Oh, this is a fill color, so it takes a fill color for the rectangle. We're just going to go with just black. And then we've got, it takes a border width. Our border width's just going to be 1. And it's 1 cell, it's not 1 pixel. And then border color. That's a good question. It's just solid green for now. We can kind of see what it looks like. It's not going to be, it's going to be ugly, but and so that this will call the console put character add routine. So let's just go. Let's just see what this looks like. Do a build. Oh, we've got a crash. All right. I'm blocking the on. I'll just throw it in the debugger real quick, see what's what. Is OBS showing that? Yes, it is. Okay. This is behaving tonight. So oh, I do need a. Oh, so I'm passing in a null. I need to send in the console. Okay. Dude. Alright, so the problem is I'm sending in null for this first parameter, and we actually need to send in instead of the. Maybe I can update this. Instead of passing in the UI state, maybe I'm going to pass in a PT console. That makes more sense. And it's complaining because I've got some functions, some other code that builds on this. Where is it? Right here. Alright, that builds. Let's see. Still doesn't like it. How's everyone doing tonight? Alright, console is null? Oh. This is what happens when you don't refresh yourself. Refresh your memory with the code. So what we did is G-console in-game, that should be console should be passed in, because I made all that change and then I'm still sending it null. Good job. There we go. That is totally not in the right place, but I think I know what's going on. There was, so this UI library that I brought in, was something that I built for like a previous little program when I was messing around with it, and I think that these are actually the X and Y parameters are out of order. I've since changed them. And so that leads to some really weird looking stuff, as you see. Now we blew up. Didn't like. $145. Oh, so 45 is going to be an out of. So we've got trying to draw off of the drawable area of the screen, because there are 45 cells from top to bottom, but those are indexed 0 to 44, so 45 is an invalid. Let's see what's, I suspect that I wonder if the border is added to, it's been a while since I looked at this function, so I'm guessing that they're adding the border outside of the height of 5. So it's actually adding like 1 on the top and 1 on the bottom for a total height of 7, which is not. Yeah, the off by ones, they'll get you every time. I think in this case, so we're looping from rect y plus rect h, which is so we're passing in 44. Wait a minute. Why am I sending in 44? That's just not even a little bit right. The log, so I need to pass in 30. That's the problem. This one I'm actually counting backwards for the message log, so this 39 should go from 39 to... and there we go. So you get a little bit of a sense. I don't really like that border. First of all, the green is hideous. But also not... I don't know. I'm a big fan of the... border. What are we rendering? The faded color. No, it's just taking 77. It's just taking the alpha. I'm trying to... color do it. Just a muted green or something. Better, but still kind of ugly. Now we got them all lined up. These kobolds are tough. I made them way OP. Kind of ridiculously overpowered. So this highlights actually another issue that we need to change, and that is the fact that we added as part of our combat engine the ability to recover health, and right now I have the health recovery routine called on every single turn. So even if the player is actively engaged in combat and the monsters are actively engaged in combat, they're recovering HP, and I think right now they're recovering probably way too much HP. But what we're going to want to do is add an explicit rest command so that you can choose to fight or move or rest, and you'll only get the HP recovery if you choose to rest. Because otherwise you just, I mean, you're hitting, yet sometimes you don't do damage, and so you're actually swinging and missing, and you're recovering health at the same time, and it's a little bit of a silly mechanic that we'll need to correct. Let's go with a muted red. Maybe almost even like a... How did we get this? Where's our brown color? Let's look at the walls. What color are we adding for walls? Hey Rad Lab Gaming, how's it going this evening? It's going pretty well for me. What's going on with you? There it is, wall add. So this color right there, that's what we want. what? Let's a nice, like, kind of golden yellow type thing might look good. So let's look at this. And let's go for like maybe this. That's a good one. FF99. FF99. Let's go strength. So that'll be full alpha. That's better. Might dim it out a little bit, but that's okay. Could even do, I believe this takes, if you do a border to, let's dim it out a little bit. Spending a little way too much time on this. Ah, that looks better. Alright, so we killed that snake and then serpent, and then so it turns into a corpse, and then after like 5 turns it disappears, just rots away. Alright. Oh, so other stats that we're going to add down here would be gold, and maybe a currently equipped weapon or something. Alright, we're cleaning up. As long as we don't run into any kobolds, we'll be okay. Kobolds are super overpowered, the way I have them currently defined. Alright, so this gives you a sense of the gameplay as it stands right now. So let's add in HP. Stat. So what we're going to want to grab is, let's do get a reference to the player. I think the player right now is global. But let's do get game object, get component, and we're gonna send in where's our get component? Object update component. There we go. So it takes our object and then the component type that we want. So we're gonna get the player object. We're gonna send it. We're gonna comp health here. Let's just verify that this is indeed. Yeah, game object create. Okay, so that should be okay. Thanks, Mr. Mario. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think it's coming along. Happy with the progress. Alright, so we've got our player health, and then the health component has a current HP and also max HP, so we're going to want both of those. And those are, what, 32. I guess we don't need variables for them that are struct right here. So what we're going to want to do is I guess we could define HP just as the string. Do we want to have? We want to have the concept of like an HP bar though. So maybe the let's do this. We will put it at, we'll start it at like, let's see. So we've got 0's the border, 1, we'll have the text HP, so that's 2, 3, so we'll start at 5. And then this will be at 42 for now. And we'll make it 10 wide. 10? Let's make it 15 wide. It'll be 1 tall. So string to the problem. Does this do the notation here? We don't do any string copying, so this thing needs to live. I can't just pass it a constant string. I need to allocate the memory for it. To worry. It's a little tedious.
Too far away, it's much too
Where's my typing gone? Seems like I have to write a function for that. That's freaking annoying. Foreground color. What color do we want the? Let's do the same as the border. And then we will draw the bar. It's not where I want it. HP down there. There's also not going to be any room for anything else. Alright, HP. You know, that we've got so much space, because each cell is 16 by 16. We have so much white space within the cell. I feel like we can put that right up against the border, and it'll still look good. Let's see, we've got pencil, character, XY, pencil, character, X is going to be, Y is going to be, oh sorry, it's going to be 141. Yeah. We'll define Yeah, we actually don't want to do this at all. String effect. So this is the label, the HP, and then what we're going to want to do is based on the health, because we're always going to want to draw the bar, the maximum. We can draw that in like a dark gray or something, and then we'll fill in the bar that's corresponds to the amount of HP that they currently have as a percentage of your overall HP. So maybe we'll get that dialed in, and then alright, so we'll figure out. It's going to be maybe 15 boxes total, so that would represent 100% health. So let's just do for just okay. Karen X, we're going to start it at 3. So to determine the number of boxes in the bar we should fill, we should do health count. It's going to be so it's paper almost. That's it. Current HP and max HP. That gives us the percent. Except we're talking about, so it's integer math, so it's not going to convert it automatically, so it'd be weird. think this... Let's see. I haven't even defined any float types. I'm not sure what that's gonna do. Let's see. How long have I been working on this? So this is, I think, day 28 of the stream. And each stream is, somewhere between an hour and 2 hours for the most part. So I've been working on it for 40 to 60 hours at this point, probably. But if you do elapsed time, like I've been working on it for several months, but I only really stream, 1, 2, 3 times a week, sometimes 0 times a week, but I try to stream as often as possible. Probably gonna call it a night in a few minutes once I get this health bar going. Let's see. See if we can get it drawing something on the screen. So what we're gonna want to do is we're gonna take the console. We're gonna want to put what character are we gonna want to put? For now, let's just make it like a big X. It won't be. We can do hash mark. It won't be this for the final. And the foreground color here will be, we'll do 0099 green. Clear background. Do you have something you can see, or is it still in the basic building process? So I guess you missed when we were doing the game stuff. Comment this out and show you where we're at. Oh, I can just show you. So this is the basic game so far. We've got a lot of work went into, so we're procedurally generating the map, so every single map is random. It's a random arrangement of rooms and corridors between them, random placement of monsters, random placement of the player within the level. We then added a monster config file and set up monsters to be read in from that file with different stats. And we built in a combat system, so I can go in here and attack. And then recently we've been working on building out the the UI portions of the screens. So we added the log view here last stream. Right now we're working on this stats box in the corner here. And then we're just going to be fleshing out, once we've kind of put together the whole in-game screen, then we will add in the concept of screen transitions and going from like a splash screen with a main menu when the game starts to the in-game screen to like an end-game screen. Because right now if the player dies, the @ sign will just disappears and that's it. There's no end-game state. So that's kind of a rough roadmap of where we're going. And then we have to build out more of the gameplay features too, like adding an inventory system, adding items that you can find, all that good stuff that makes it more fun. So I just want to see what this does. It's probably not what I'm expecting, but let's see. Okay, so you start with full health, so it's obviously going to draw the full bar. But let's see, once we start losing health, is it going to freak out? Yeah, so once you lose that first bar worth, the division doesn't work out to be 1 and even 1, and because there's no floating point, it just completely disappears. So let's make that math a little bit smarter. So one thing that we can do need paper to figure this out. Hold on. I think I'm just gonna have to use the float, which is fine. Let's see. So what we're gonna want to do is this is just gonna be like a float. I think that's gonna work. Is this do float? Times bar width. That's gonna yield a float, and so. I must do this somewhere else.
No, nobody seems worth it while the feeling's sophisticated. The view is so restrained. The past is nearing.
Not rounding anywhere, huh?
Let's just cut the bullshit and tell me who's independent. Thumbs a little in and your life's escaping your mind. Keep in mind, well, the air ain't as free as it used to be, but that's quite alright when you're still 18, it seems.
Yeah, so here I'm just turning it, I'm doing floating point math by just explicitly putting the float.
While the lining is in silver, we're verging on the side of the road that'll
just do it. Alright, so we're converting these to both floats, and then we're taking health count. We want to we don't want to round up, we want to take the ceiling. This whole thing. Let's see. Get it to... Yeah, okay, so there was. Okay, did you see it dip? Let's find a kobold. There's one. That'll knock it down. Alright, so... That's very odd behavior. It's like jumping around all over the place. And that I think, again, is because our health recovery function is kicking in on every single turn. Let's... Health recover. Oh, we set up a recovery rate. That's what the... Let's see. Glad you like it. Let's see. So we set the recovery rate. I think maybe let's see what we set it for the player. I think we do it when we created the player. Health. Oh, recovery rate is 1? Really? We start with 20 HP. But my world is crumbling. Let it collapse into the abyss. HP plus equals the recovery rate. So, yeah, and if it's greater than max HP, we just set it to max HP. Waiting for pain to interfere. It's quite complex, but what I know. Let's just, for giggles, I want to debug this stuff, but I don't want it to... Current HP, ceiling. Let's look at that again. Okay, Cobalt, perfect. So it's right there. It hits for 3 damage, so we lost 1, which is proper. And then it hits for another 3 damage, so we lost another 2. Now if we run away, we should be recovering health, so we should get 1. We get back an awful lot of health for that. Alright, but it seems to be behaving because it's never going to go past max. But it's hitting right now and we're not... Whoa. Now we're getting our butt kicked. Well, okay. Maybe that is right. I'm going to put some debugging in and just see what the calculations behind the scenes are if they're correct. They seem a little bit wonky to me. But we got the sense of the bar. So the only other thing I wanted to do was we'll do this. Oh, here's what we'll do. So for bar width, we're always going to draw the full bar. But what we're going to do is we're going to say if x is less than or equal to x is less than
Find ourselves alone here, wanting to disappear, change our names, live on the sun, where every sound is clearer, burns a little deeper.
so this is going to be green. This is going to be alright, where's a cobalt? It's gotta be hitting us. Oh, there it went. Okay. These goblins are too weak to do much damage to us, so we're not gonna be able to see the effects of what I just did. There we go, cobalt. Alright, so now you can see that we're getting clobbered. It's not doing the math right though, because but you can see the effect that we're going for here. So we're always gonna draw the whole bar, but we're gonna show the current HP in a different color, in this green color. And they killed us. So I think that you get an idea of what we're doing. And I think I am going to call it an evening for now. So we could go to 16 because that'll be a full. Oh, no problem, Rad Lab Gaming. I'm glad to do it. I'm having some fun here. Hopefully you are as well. I do stream there as well. So I think, let's see, I think that'll look good. And so next stream we will work on, I'm going to check the math and make sure that it's behaving. Because right now, it's just not, it's acting strange. This should be almost half gone if our current HP is 11. So I'll fix the math, and then I'm going to clean this up. This is a little bit, I mean, I know this is an ASCII interface, but this is, I think, ugly even for an ASCII interface. We're going to replace these characters, the hash marks, with prettier ASCII characters that look more bar-like. And then we're going to clean up the log messages. Right now we're spewing too much useless information here, which was fine for testing, but we're going to clean that up and then figure out what other stats we want to add to our stats box. But I think we had a pretty productive stream tonight, so I'm happy about that. I'm going to call it. Thanks for watching this evening. If you want to see any archives of previous streams, everything's up on YouTube. Hit me up on Twitter at PDCodes if you have any questions or comments. And again, the source code is all available on GitHub, so you can download it and play along at home, or tweak it, or build your own game on top of it if you wish. Go crazy. So if you enjoyed the stream, I hope you did, be sure to hit that follow button so that you'll get notified the next time I stream, which hopefully won't be too long from now. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you next stream. Night.